Okay guys, so I'm going to look at a video of Brad and I rolling. This is, I think, the first video that I put on YouTube. And I'm going to look at the concept that I have found very valuable, which is switching off between failed upper body submission attempts and seeing failed upper body submission attempts as an opportunity to attack high percentage lower body submission attempts. So we're going to roll this tape. We go. Brad takes a good over tie. I'm looking to play guard today, so I sit to guard. I get a good 2-on-1 wrist. We're going to take a look at this. You'll notice that I've got a 2-on-1 wrist grip here. The weakness of each one of my hands is covered by the other hand. This is not accidental. The primary problem with no-gi is grip strength. Not your physical grip strength that you have in your forearms, but the inherent weakness of the grip because you don't have a gi. Covering the weakness of one of your grips with the other grip. In other words, gripping with your hands facing each other at the same point on somebody's limb is incredibly important. And this allows me to create a really good connection to Brad, where even in a slippery no-gi sense, he can't necessarily pull out of that grip. And rather than address that grip with his left hand, he's chosen to grab my foot, which is fine. In my opinion, what should happen here is he should address that 2-on-1 grip first. It's a general rule. If somebody has a 2-on-1 grip on one of your limbs, you need to address that first. So Brad is trying to backstep around my butterfly hooks here. And he's doing a good job of framing on my chin where I can't get a good connection to his upper body and go into sumigashi sweeps or anything of the like. So he's pummeling around. I'm trying to pummel my feet back in. Now, he starts to pressure me backward into this stack pass, this double unders pass. And you can see that as he does it, I start looking for a triangle. And we have this momentary fight where I am trying to pull his arm into one of his arms inside my triangle. Now I've got one. Pulling the head, I'm not going to act like this triangle is well executed. It is absolutely not. But we pull into a trap triangle. It's a lot of head pulling. It's not clean, and I'm not going to act like it is. It's something I've been working on. This was a while ago. Now, if I did it today, it probably wouldn't look a hell of a lot better, but this is where we are. Now, from here, Brad starts leaning toward the strangle leg, which is my left leg in this case. This is the leg that's going to go across his neck if I were to finish the triangle. He starts leaning toward that leg and putting a lot of pressure on the lock of my feet. So, what's the answer to this? The triangle wasn't good to begin with. You can see my feet are barely crossed. Go back and watch this again. My feet are barely crossed. Brad puts one foot up and starts putting a lot of pressure on the strangle leg. My knee is not high enough. I do not have the angle on this triangle. It was cheap to shoot and it was cheap to lose it. question is did it cause enough of a reaction? Did it cause enough off balance to open up other attacks? This is the question. And if a triangle that is this bad can be used as a good thing, well, that gives something of apparently no value quite a bit of inherent value. So you'll notice here that I've taken a scoop grip with my right hand on Brad's left leg. He's doing an excellent job of putting his left hand into my hips and leaning toward the side of my strangle leg. This is going to make it very hard for me to finish the triangle. So I take a scoop grip on what would technically be the wrong side if I were to be trying to finish this triangle. The angle that I'd need to create to finish the triangle would be a scoop grip with the left hand on Brad's right leg to cut an angle and to finish the triangle, a traditional front triangle. Now, to enter his legs and to enter backside 50-50, I find it helpful to take a scoop grip on the opposite leg, and it works best in the case of a failed triangle, where a person, a larger person, in this case, puts their forearm across your hips and starts pressuring the strangle leg, in this case, my left leg. So at this point, I've pulled Brad's head down, trying to get this lock in one more time, just continuously going for that triangle. And here is where we make the switch. Now, let's see this one more time. Brad postures up right here. And I open the lock of my legs. I drop my right knee inside of his knee. And I put my left foot on his oblique. I push his upper body away, leaving the leg that I had a scoop grip on exposed. Feed my left leg in between his legs and put my shoelaces, the shoelaces of my left foot, on his far hip. Watch this again. This is the transition, and this is such a valuable transition. Right here, you can see my left knee is touching the ground. You can't actually see it, but you can see my my right leg. My knee is on the ground inside of his knee, in between his knees. This is incredibly important to enter the 50-50. From here, you can see he has a hold of my left foot. I pommel out. The left foot goes to his oblique, and I get his weight off of me, pushing into a 50-50 situation with my left foot. From here, I cross my feet where he cannot attack my legs. You also notice my left knee is not inside his knee line. My left knee is on the floor. Some guys call this the 80-20 position, but how it works is this. This transforms the 50-50 position from a mutual attacking position to a position where he cannot effectively attack an inside heel hook on my legs, and I can effectively attack an inside heel hook on his. This is incredibly important if you're going to play the 50-50 position. And it's starting to evolve for me now, where entering 50-50 and finishing from 50-50, I'm starting to see the advantages of 50-50 in terms of heel exposure. It appears to me that it's much easier to generate heel exposure from 50-50 than it is from standard issue cross ashi. While there is slightly less control, there's less passing that you can do from 50-50, there's excellent heel exposure, provided that you know how to stay safe, get your inside knee to the floor, and create this 80-20 position, if you want to call it that. So we look at this entry. Brad backsteps, which is excellent. There are backside finishes. Brad did a good job of backstepping. Now there's a detail here that I want to look at. Now, notice where his heel position is now. His leg is slightly bent. It's actually bent a little bit more than I want it to be for an optimal finish. So you'll notice right here, I extend his leg. Lock the grip and slowly hip in. Be nice to your training partners here. We extend the leg, get a good gable grip, come up to the inside shoulder. This is incredibly important. You see guys finishing 50-50 with both of their shoulders an equal distance away from the floor. In other words, their back is square to the floor. This is not ideal. What you see a lot of, especially in the gi, you can see this in these god-awful 50-50 shootouts in the gi where no heel hooks are allowed. Guys can make grips. You see this in no-gi too. Guys can hand fight and they can collar tie. And that makes it really difficult to extend someone's leg and actually break them. So when you go to finish from 50-50, I've learned that it's much more effective to finish on your inside shoulder. In this case, that's my left shoulder. What this does is it puts my back between where I'm trying to work, which is at his heel, and what he's trying to work with, which is his hands. He cannot effectively hand fight from this position because he has to go through my back. You should definitely try this with your training partners. Just do a 50-50 shootout where your shoulders are square to the mat, and they can hand fight. They can grab all kinds of arm drag grips, all kinds of wrist grips, and the most annoying one to me is the collar tie. But if you put your back between you and your opponent, once you have a good 50-50 and a heel secured, you're going to get very strong finishes. So, in summary, you should go for upper body submissions. You just should. They open up, even how futile. You see how futile this triangle was. It had no shot of working in this particular case. I'm trying to actually get better at those, but in the meantime, there's a very valuable commodity to failed upper body submissions that can lead you to high percentage lower body submissions in this case.